Today, everywhere is full of tension as news breaks from the Federal High Court in Abuja about Nnamdi Kanu's trial. What happened in that courtroom shocked many people, even those close to him. And one of the voices that stood out was Honorable Obi Aguocha, a member of the House of Representatives. He said plainly that he was shocked when Nnamdi Kanu decided to take over his own defense right inside the courtroom. Now, imagine the scene. The courtroom was already full. Journalists were ready, security officers were on standby, and everyone was expecting just another legal sitting. Calm, steady, procedural. But suddenly Kanu stood up, looked at his lawyers and made it clear he was no longer comfortable with them handling his case. Reports say he told the court he wanted to handle the matter himself. Just like that. His legal team, a group of experienced senior lawyers, withdrew respectfully, saying they would honor his decision. You could almost feel the air change. The judge looked surprised. The court went quiet for a few moments, and people in the room couldn't believe what they just heard. A man who has been through several trials with a team of high-ranking lawyers behind him suddenly decides to face the federal prosecution alone. It's like watching a football match and seeing the captain tell the coach, "I'll play every position myself." And that's where Honorable Aguocha came in. After the court sitting, he expressed his shock publicly. He said, in his own words, that he didn't expect Kanu to make that kind of move, especially considering how serious and sensitive the charges are. Remember, this is not a simple case. This is a national security matter that involves laws on terrorism, agitation, and the unity of the country. So for a man to say, "I'll defend myself," you can already tell this will raise eyebrows everywhere. Now, my people, before I go further, please, if you are watching this video, make sure you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss updates like this one. All right, let's move on. So why did Nnamdi Kanu take such a bold step? That's what everyone is asking. Some believe he wants full control over his case because he's not satisfied with how things have been handled. Others think it's a personal strategy. Maybe he feels he can speak directly to the court better than anyone else. And there are people who say it might be frustration from long detention and repeated adjournments. But whatever the reason, one thing is clear. It's a huge risk. Defending yourself in a complex case like this is not easy. The law is full of technical rules. The federal prosecutors have years of experience, and every sentence or question in that courtroom matters. That's why most people get lawyers, because one wrong step can change everything. Now, from the court side, the judge had to act carefully. When someone decides to represent themselves, the court must be sure the person truly understands what they're doing. So the judge reportedly asked questions to confirm if Kanu was fully aware of the decision. The court must ensure fairness, not just for him, but for justice as a whole. Honorable Aguocha, as a lawmaker, also raised concerns about Kanu's well-being and access to proper medical attention. He's been one of the few politicians who openly called for a fair hearing and humane treatment for Kanu. So when he said he was shocked, it wasn't just about surprise, it was concern. He believes such a move might complicate things and could affect how the case progresses. And if you think about it deeply, he has a point. Because even if someone decides to handle their case, the reality is that legal processes can be overwhelming. There are documents, witness examinations, motions, and technical language that even trained lawyers find challenging. So imagine standing alone in that courtroom, facing the state with so much on the line. Let me pause here for a second. Oh, if you're still watching and enjoying this gist, please click that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and it encourages me to keep bringing you real-time verified stories like this one. All right, let's continue. This move by Kanu didn't just shake the courtroom. It also sent a wave.
Well, he had discussions with the legal team yesterday, and all of us were shocked when we came to court, and the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation previous Kanu Agabi, announced to the court that himself and the legal team, especially those of the Inner Temple, are withdrawing. And the judge also was shocked and asked Nnamdi Kanu about it, and he concurred that for now, that he would take charge of his defense. Doesn't mean that if tomorrow an opportunity arises, that lawyers will not also be part of it. So, but for today, probably tomorrow, he would take charge of his defense. So that's what happened in court. And
were you surprised?
I was pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly or shocked?
Well, surprised and shocked at the same time. In terms that none of us knew about it. I came to court, just like I've always done, attend the court hearings and all this stuff, and I sat there listening. I kept making the contributions. It's just between Nnamdi Kanu, the prosecution team and the defense team, and the judge. So as of today, the lawyers have virtually stood down. Whether they have given Nnamdi Kanu his case files.
Across political and social spaces. People started reacting online, on radio, and even in community gatherings. Some of his supporters called it a show of courage. They said it's proof that Kanu believes in himself and doesn't trust the system anymore. But others warned that this could make his case more difficult and that he might need legal experts by his side to avoid mistakes. Meanwhile, the legal community, senior advocates, human rights lawyers, and observers also reacted. Many of them said while every defendant has a right to defend themselves, it's not advisable in a case of this scale. It's like walking on a tightrope. One small slip can have serious consequences. The court is also expected to give time for things to settle, possibly to allow new representation if Kanu changes his mind, or to prepare the proper procedure if he decides to continue alone. Adjournments usually happen in such situations because the court must make sure everything is done by the book. At this point, many Nigerians are watching closely because this trial is not just about one person. It's about how Nigeria handles sensitive political and ethnic issues within the law. Every move in that courtroom has political meaning. It touches the Southeast, it touches the North, it touches the federal government, and it touches ordinary citizens who just want peace. Even international observers are following the case. Groups that monitor human rights and due process are interested in whether Kanu gets fair treatment and access to medical care. And that's part of what Honorable Aguocha keeps emphasizing, that the government must balance justice with humanity. Let me quickly say this again. If you're just joining the gist, please make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to the channel. That's the best way to support this kind of calm, clear, and responsible reporting. No shouting, no hate, just the real story. Now, back to the gist. The big question now is, what happens next? Will Kanu continue to represent himself? Will the court assign him a standby lawyer just in case? Or will he change his mind and bring back legal experts? The next few hearings will tell. From experience, courts don't rush such matters. They'll take time to make sure Kanu understands the risks, that his rights are protected, and that proceedings remain orderly. Because at this point, any mistake can create unnecessary tension outside the courtroom. That's why both the court and government are trying to handle it carefully. The mood in the Southeast right now is mixed. Some people are hopeful that this bold step might bring more attention to his case, while others are worried that it could delay justice even longer. Many people are calling for calm, reminding everyone that this is a legal process, not a street fight. The judge's role is to interpret the law, not emotions. And that's something Nigerians are learning gradually through this case. And one thing is clear. This whole situation is a big test for Nigeria's legal system. It's testing how fair, transparent, and professional the courts can be, even in the face of pressure and politics. Let's be honest, this is not the first time we've seen big courtroom drama in Nigeria. But this one feels different because of the emotions involved. You can feel how every move from Kanu, every word from Aguocha, and every decision from the court sends a message to the public. People are no longer watching just for entertainment. They are watching to see what Nigeria does with its justice system. So far, the judiciary has handled things calmly. The judge didn't overreact, the lawyers followed procedure, and the lawmakers like Aguocha are using their voices to appeal for fairness. That's how it should be. A process where everyone respects the law, no matter the emotion attached. So, as everything stands now, Nnamdi Kanu's decision to take over his own defense has changed the direction of his case completely. It's like pressing the reset button in the middle of a long, difficult match. Everyone, from the judge to the lawyers to politicians, is now watching to see what his next move will be. Honorable Obi Aguocha's reaction also added weight to the matter. He didn't just speak as a politician, he spoke as someone genuinely concerned about fairness, peace, and the image of the country. When a federal lawmaker says he's shocked, it means the development isn't something anyone expected. He also used that opportunity to remind...
I do not know, but when you go to section 36(6)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which are actually a crucial provision towards fair hearing, specifically to persons who are charged with criminal or capital offenses, is the constitutional right of Mr. Kanu to decide to take over the defense of his own case. It is also his constitutional right that adequate time and facilities be provided for him to ensure that to ensure that he has adequate defense.
Yeah, but I don't think the issue is
for the government and the public that Kanu still deserves justice and humane treatment, no matter the case against him. And that's the truth. Whether people support Kanu or not, the law should remain the law. Everyone deserves a fair chance, and that's what strengthens a nation's justice system. Now, beyond the courtroom, this event has also touched the emotions of millions of Nigerians. You can see different opinions flying online. Some people say it's bravery, others say it's risky. Some say he wants to make a statement, others think it's a personal protest. But whichever side you look at, everyone agrees that this move will make history in Nigeria's legal space. The next court sitting will likely determine the pace of the trial, whether Kanu will continue defending himself or whether the court will assign a standby lawyer to assist him. Either way, this case has become one of the most closely watched trials in Nigeria today. And if there's one message everyone keeps repeating, it's this: let peace reign. People should stay calm and allow the court to do its work. The government must handle this case with care, the media must report it responsibly, and citizens must avoid spreading false stories. Because when cases like these are handled with fairness, it strengthens the trust between the people and the law. Before I close this gist, I want to remind you again. If you've enjoyed this story and you like how I break it down for you in a clear and balanced way, please hit that like button right now and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. When you subscribe, you're supporting truth, calm reporting, and responsible storytelling. So, as we wait for the next development, let's remember this. The court belongs to everyone. Justice must be equal for everyone. And truth always finds its way out, no matter how long it takes. Whether you agree with Kanu's action or not, what matters most is that Nigeria continues to uphold the rule of law. Thank you so much for watching and for staying till the end. Stay tuned for the next update. I'll be here to break it down for you again in simple, clear English so everyone can understand what's really going on. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't done that already. See you in the next gist. Stay safe, stay calm, and keep believing in peace and justice for all.